Greetings and welcome to Let's Play My Channel logo. I just wanted to make a vlog. Felt like it. Yeah. I think I will put it in the title description so people know what this is about. This is about Halcyon 6 Starbase Commander. And I wanted to talk about the, non-existent future of the Let's Play. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the game design about it itself, and a little bit, about the game. I am not going to finish it. I say it now. Unless they somehow change something drastically, I'm not going to finish it. I don't feel like grinding for hours and hours and hours on end to either have enough crew to survive the alien onslaught with my current, ship design, or I also don't feel like grinding so I have more tier 5 ships. Even if I just have to put 2 more hours in, I just don't feel like doing it. It's just not fun anymore. The game was quite fun in the beginning. I like this whole you need to put exploits on the ships, and then you use these exploits to do damage. It sounds quite good at first. It also feels quite good at first. I don't know if it's a game design flaw or something like this, but later on the main problem is you need to do that. Otherwise you're not going to do damage to the ships. And trying to whittle down an 80,000 HP ship with like 200 to 400 normal hits because your fucking exploit things just don't want to stack on the ships. That's a lot of bullcrap. Having ships that can instantly heal themselves without any repercussions is bullshit. Having to do a lot of grinding in a game that... How do I say this? Most of you should know that I'm not a big fan of JRPGs, mostly because of the stories usually, but I don't mind grinding so much. If, and that's a big if, there are a few criterias. It has to be mind-numbing. I don't want to think a lot when I'm grinding. I just want to push a few buttons, run around in a circle, push a few buttons, maybe have to go back to town a few times to rest, come back, push a few buttons, run in circles, stuff like that. The grinding should have a certain goal. I'm not a big fan of having to grind for a certain item drop. I hate grinding for item drops because you don't know when it will end. If I can approximately calculate in my head, okay, I need to kill like 20 more enemy groups, and one enemy group takes like 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to grind for about 1.5 hours now. That's totally fine. Wizardry 5, I say it again and again and again, was hours of grinding in between videos. But it was an easy grind. I just ran around, backwards, forwards, enemies appeared, bam, 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 hit the B button, watch the screen, speed everything up, wonderful. You don't have that in Halcyon. You kinda get into the state where you do your thing, you click, You put a debuff on the enemy or 2 debuffs, and then you exploit these debuffs, and so on and so forth. If for some reason the debuffs just don't want to stack, you repeat this multiple times. And sometimes you have to also heal in between. So that's kind of this you kind of feel like working on a conveyor belt, because you always have to do the same things. But they are different things all the time, and you can't just hit a button all the time. If you know what I mean. It involves a little bit more than just mindlessly watching a video while you do this, and it takes too long. The main thing of Halcyon, what really bothers me is, I wouldn't mind if the game would be like 5 to 8 hours shorter. I've been playing it now according to Steam for 20 hours. And I could live with it being like, about half as short, or 5 hours, or 1/3 shorter. I could really deal with that, increase the leveling a little bit, so it just doesn't feel like grinding. Then you don't see what kind of enemies you can. You only grind like one group in most RPGs. I don't know. I never felt like, oh, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII and I have to make sure that every one of my characters is the same level or similar level, because you can't have them the same level because Cloud is always in it, I think. But I never felt the need to have like different groups and make sure they all are in the same area of level and so on and so forth. But you kind of, at least I felt like, maybe I did the final boss fight totally wrong or something like that. I can't remember Lethal Frag having this problem. Maybe they patched something in between. I really can't remember him having multiple groups and having to send us out. But also, that's also a thing. You kinda can't, if you advance too fast in this game, you are fucked. And I don't know any kind of game that does that. If you advance too fast, you are fucked. You can't go back. Usually RPGs, you go forward until you start dying horribly. Then you go one zone back where you can kinda kill the enemies and they still give you lots of good experience. Then you grind there until they get easier, and then you carry on. That's how I usually play RPGs, especially JRPGs, open world RPGs. You don't have this. I think Seventh Saga did something like that. If you don't have a certain level in Seventh Saga and you advance the story and you can't kill enemies in the new area, you're fucked, because you can't go back anymore. And that's the problem with Halcyon. This whole, you can't catch a breath, you can't catch a break. You have all these options on the station, but you can't do this because you're constantly in combat. Oh, you have to send them out, send those out. If I had known from the beginning that I needed multiple groups at max level, then I would have played the whole game differently. But I really don't feel like redoing all of it. I really don't feel like making sure that I have 2 to 3 groups at the similar level and leveling up. I just don't feel like doing it. I think I spent like 2 hours off screen on Halcyon, and I just don't feel like doing it. And you're talking to someone. I am trying to do the Lazy Bastard achievement in Factorio, which involves not creating more than, I think, 111 items yourself. And 102 are kinda locked, because you have to create them yourself. So you can only have like a little bit of leeway is there. But you just sit there and wait in the beginning to gather your resources with the few things that you have, and it takes a long time. But it's not so tedious. You can do other things. You can let the game run while it collects resources and watch a movie, sleep. do something. You don't have to be active like in Halcyon. You don't have to be actively clicking on things, deciding what to do, and the enemies are just so much more powerful compared to you in some instances. When 2 to 3 good critical hits can just decimate you to no end. That also sometimes happened in Darkest Dungeon, but it wasn't as bad. And I don't know who it was, but one of my viewers said it pretty good, that you need to have some sort of protection ability for these kind of games. Because, yeah, okay, you have a tank character, but if he can't intercept the enemy fire, why have a tank ship? That doesn't make a lot of sense. You usually use them, at least in Halcyon, to heal, which also bothers me that the healing somehow is limited, but I don't know. I really enjoyed that game when I started it, but it just drained me. I don't like it anymore. Apparently it's still in development. It's not early access because it is fully released, but they are going to create more stuff in the future. So more scenarios, let's say it this way. So maybe you play it totally different ways or something like that. I don't know. All I know is I'm not going to finish it. And I think that's also the problem I have kind of with streaming / let's playing. And the reason why I kind of wanted to upload things to YouTube when I'm doing let's play when I actually finished the games. Because then I don't have this problem as I need to finish it. I must finish it, or people will ask me, hey, when are you going to finish this and that? I don't feel like playing it anymore, plain and simple. So, if anyone ever asks me this, I will just refer to this video. I don't feel like finishing Halcyon 6. Unless they change something, unless you can somehow gain level 13 faster, or I don't know, they change the end game part or something like that. A game where, yeah, it kind of feels like a dead man walking scenario in the old Zero games. Like if you don't pick up an item or don't do something specific, and you carry on and you already lost. You just don't know that you lost. That's how it kind of feels with Halcyon. I mean, sure, you can get around it. You can grind, you can do it. And I would have, I would have put the grind more on the beginning instead of the end. But it wouldn't have been so tedious because the enemy ships weren't so strong and you kind of had like always 2 groups of ships that were pretty strong. And if I had known that the Spire activates kind of the boss fights, I would have never touched that one. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it had good ideas. It had some pretty horrible UE decisions. I kind of wish the combat would be a little bit faster. Put in auto combat, because I'm at a stage where I just decimate enemies like mad. Just have some sort of auto combat or just speed it up. I kind of like the idea of the exploits, but like I said in the beginning, when you need to use these exploits to actually be able to kill stuff, and you just can't land them, and there's no way to increase your chance at it, maybe if you research a little bit, then yeah, but also with the research, you need high-level characters in your base to research stuff, but you are constantly getting attacked. Oh, you have to help those, you have to help those, you have to go there, you have to help those. Oh, there's a boss coming. Prepare for it, you have to help those. Grind, level, build ships, grind, have to help those, pick up items, so on and so forth. And your crew just is constantly on the move because you can't catch a fucking bus. Maybe I played it totally wrong. That's also totally possible. Maybe there is some trick to it where you can reduce the amount of attacks you get. At least in the end game. I mean, obviously I did it right in the beginning where I just shut down those portals, but I tried to shut down a portal in the big enemy area and it just didn't work. So maybe other portals work, I don't know. But when the first portal you encounter doesn't work, you kinda get the idea, okay, maybe, maybe it doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I hate abandoning games, I really do. It's not a fun thing to do. But that's also the main reason why I kind of want to wait to upload stuff to YouTube. Because I'm never sure if I actually will finish a game. I usually try to slog through. If I can somehow make it easier. Like with adventure games I use a walkthrough or something like that. With some RPGs I use the hex editor. I don't like using the hex editor, but before I have to redo like 40 hours of gameplay just to fix a minor thing, then I will use the hex editor. I mean, there is no... I wouldn't use it privately, but I have no problem using it to finish a stream or let's play. So yeah, that's kind of it. Anyways, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see each other soon. So take care and goodbye.